and it just barely started. And think about this. Think about this. April 1 year ago. Can you remember April 1 year ago? We were non-essential a year ago. And so got to be grateful that we are essential. Let's go ahead and clear the screen. So if you have your camera on, go ahead and turn off. At the end. It's good to see Charles, but we'll go ahead and clear the screen so we have bandwidth for sound. But April a year ago, we were non-essential, you guys, and now we're complaining about low inventory. We have so much to be thankful for. And talk about non-essential. I mean, there are still a lot of agents that are non-essential. And whether you're essential or not is being challenged every day with sellers who say their house is going to sell itself with or without you. I used to say some agents charge less, and they should, because you're either commission based or you're value based, and the value based agent that can deliver value is extraordinary. And especially these days, a lot of times you're often and the only real professional involved. And so an agent that has expertise, that has experience, this is an agent's market. This is the opportunity that you wait for in this industry. And so I hope you're enjoying it. And I hope you don't let the challenges get you down. So I'm going to confront some of those challenges today and kind of help you with your mindset and thinking about the low inventory market, because there's actually an abundance of inventory that's available to you if you know how to tap into the hidden inventory. So today we'll talk about finding listings. Listings are extremely valuable, but the other thing to remember in this market, buyers are golden, because a buyer, whether they buy or not, is a ticket to the hidden inventory. And that ticket to the hidden inventory gives you access to all kinds of opportunities. So let me switch to my presentation, and we'll get right into it this morning. First, a couple of things for the office. Let me get to it. Here we go. I can't think and do anything else at the same time. You'll find. But I'm going to start the slideshow, and here we go. So finding listings in a low inventory market is what we'll be talking about today. First, a couple things for the office. In March, Indian Wells office, 33,000 listing views on Listing Concierge. So when we do the Listing Concierge listing marketing for you, and there are tons of agents that are not marketing their listings at all these days, but for you guys on social media, 33,000 views just in the month of March for our Indian Wells office. So well done, you guys. Palm Desert office had a lot more listings in March. They had 358,000, almost 359,000 listing views and 176 leads that came into those agents through Listing Concierge. So great job, you guys. And we want to continue to be the lead generation powerhouse here in the desert. Check this out, you guys. Number one in America, again, for the 24th year in a row, but number one selling office for Coldwell Banker in Riverside County, Coldwell Banker Palm Desert. So great job. We put our trophy out front so everybody can touch the trophy, get some mojo, and but that trophy's out front for you to see. Indian Wells office, highest average commission of all of our offices in Southern California. So if you want to know how to get a full commission, talk to an agent in our Indian Wells office. Here's what the market looks like right now. The light green is for sale. The dark green is sold. The red line is pendings. And this is looking back at 2020, January 2020, up until March 21st let's see. No, that's this is first quarter. So this is January through March 21st. Absolutely historic time for the desert. And you can see the downward trend in inventory. And you can see March is when it really came to a head. March will go down in the record books as a historic month for real estate. We're going to see some strong months ahead, but March, all heaven broke loose, and inventory low. But we got look at the sales, actually closed sales. That March, that's from work that you did in January and February, and then pendings. So, but the other side of this story is, and again, I'm confronting this idea as one, don't call this market crazy, because if you do, you're calling anybody who buys a house in this market crazy, and you're calling anybody who sells a house to a buyer in this market crazy, and they're not. It's actually a very sensible market based on the fundamentals of supply and demand and some very real things that are going on in the world socially. But sure, inventory is low, but there are 728 homes available as of yesterday to sell, and there are more coming all the time. Take a look at average sale price. The green line, what's for sale, that's the inventory, and the red line is sold. And you can see that the average sale price on what's available is now $1,393,000. Now this is the center of the desert, the 5-city center of the desert. $1,393,000 is the average sale price. So that's another thing that has changed dramatically this year, is higher end properties coming on the market. And then look at the average price sold. So the average price sold is going up. We started the year at around $543,000, and we're at $713,000 average sale price. What that tells you is focus your marketing and target your efforts on the higher price points. Leverage the brand. Leverage the brand. I know we do a lot of work helping you develop your personal brand, and that's important. And it's great to develop a personal brand. I think an agent who really works hard at building their brand, what do you invest maybe $10, $20, $30, $50,000 a year. Some agents spend even more on creating and developing their personal brand. But on the other hand, you have a brand that you're allowed to use that spends millions every year, and they've for 120 years have developed brand equity in the luxury markets across the United States. Don't forget to leverage that brand. When the reason why is that people that are looking for homes are looking online, they're coming from outside the desert, and their number one issue is they want to find somebody that they can trust. And if they don't know you, they don't trust you. But when they see a name that they know and trust, then you get credibility with them. So be sure and leverage the credibility of the brand. Take a look at Kimberly here, doing a great job creating her own logo, her own brand. But at the same time, she knows that it's people that don't know who Kimberly Olson is that are, this is her email signature, for example. So she gets, oh, they said there's a brand, she's with Coldwell Banker, must be a good agent. The other thing she's doing is she's leveraging her award. So they can see this is not just a part-time agent or an average agent, it's an award-winning agent. Here's another one. Here's Aldo. And Aldo, smart. This is his social media profile picture. He's got the brand right there. And if you're using social media to try to connect with people and get business, people that don't know you, that brand establishes a higher level of credibility for you. The other thing about a Coldwell Banker brand is that it helps you leverage a higher sale price. So Coldwell Banker is a luxury brand, and we have our luxury division, but really the Coldwell Banker brand stands on its own. It's the strongest in luxury markets all across the United States. That's who's coming here to the desert. Local independent brands they don't recognize, know, or trust. And so leverage the brand. The other thing is higher average commission. About half of the commissions that are offered to a buyer's agent in the desert right now is about 2.5%. There's a downward pressure on commissions. And but when someone talks to an agent who's with a premium brand, they're expecting to pay a premium commission. And so the way that you present yourself professionally has a lot to do with the commission that people even expect to pay before you even open your mouth. So higher average commission, the brand will help you with that. They know they're getting more than just an agent that's operating out of their own pocket. They know they're getting the resources of a major company. And then also leverage the brand for outside area referrals. I'm getting calls on a weekly basis from agents in Beverly Hills, San Francisco Bay Area, Sacramento, Los Angeles, that have clients that own a property in the desert that they want to sell, and they're looking for a listing agent. Those are just the few that call me. For those few that call me, there are just hundreds of others that are searching online to find an agent that they can trust. And if they don't know anybody, then they look for the name that they trust. So leverage the brand. So looking for listings, leverage the brand. My next slide, if I can get it to come up. Market your listings. This is especially critical if it sells in one day. I had an agent that said, hey, it's going to sell in one day, so I'm not going to do any marketing. That might be okay if you work for a discount broker, but you work for a premium brokerage. And market your listings. Listing agents know that you don't market your listings to try to get the listing to sell. You market your listings to market yourself, to the neighborhood, especially the area around your listing. Marketing your listings is especially critical if it's going to sell in one day. The BRE investigation into what has just happened in this market is going to be ugly. And it's going to be a lot of looking at people agents who listed properties and sold them without marketing them. I'm getting calls from sellers because their agent sold their property in one day and they got higher offers the next day. Sellers who are convinced they could have gotten more. And the problem is we can't disprove it. Sellers who say to me, what did you guys do to market my property? It sold itself. Why am I paying you the full commission? Agents who double end properties without putting them in MLS. We've already had to handle some really ugly situations. A lawsuit is the least of your concerns. A DRE investigation into your practices is ugly. And so you've got to be able to prove to BRE that you did your due diligence as a listing agent. But then you've got to also be able to show a seller that you used to. And the seller can potentially be happy when they accept an offer. They'll tell you, hey, we just want to be done with it. We're just going to accept this offer. But then it really changes as you move forward in an escrow, and they'll never know what they could have gotten. So it's critical that you market listings, even if they're going to sell. So a couple things to show your seller. One is be sure and show them all the marketing that has been done. And there are two ways to do that. One is to show them the brochure that shows all the listing concierge marketing. The other is in listing concierge, there's the seller report, and it lists point by point all the marketing that you did to get their home sold. So don't pass that step. The other important point is to make sure that you do a CMA on every listing that you take and have the seller sign the CMA. Make sure you have documented the price that you got for their property, and it should make sense, and that you keep that in your file. We've got to be able to show that we've done what we're supposed to do in a market where it appears that properties sell themselves. We need to show people, real estate agents, who don't just allow properties to sell themselves, but they go the second mile to make sure that you get the highest possible price. So here are some limiting beliefs again. if you want to find listings, I'm going to give you 18 ways to find hidden inventory. So you'll be sure and find a pen or a pencil, also called a linear data transfer device. And the carbon-based ones actually have a deletion device at the end. It's called an eraser. But get one ready, and I'm going to ask you to take notes and write down 18 sources of hidden inventory. But first, I need to change some limiting beliefs that keep you from succeeding in this market. Or if you are succeeding, you could be doing double and more than you could even dream. So here's today's advice from the broke agent. The broke agent's going around complaining that it's a crazy market and there's no inventory. That's not the truth. That's something the broke agent says in the back of your head, and it discourages you and it disables you. It's not an empowering belief for an agent. So an empowering belief is it's a strong market. There's still lots of inventory and more coming every day. I think probably Richard Chamberlain is the opposite of the broke agent. He's always, he just loves it. The more challenging it gets, the more he loves it. Here's another empowering belief. Multiple offers because homes are underpriced. Now, if you're telling your buyers it's a crazy market and there's these crazy multiple offers and that buyers are paying ridiculous prices and they're bidding up properties, listen, if there are multiple offers, it's because the property was underpriced. The property was underpriced. Multiple offers is a way to find the current market value. Market value is based on what a buyer is willing to pay. So the end of a bidding war establishes what market value really is. So multiple offers now, it's not crazy. Multiple offers now is the process of buying a home in today's market. It's the process of buying a home in today's market. It's not good or bad, it's the process. And if you overprice a home, it will sit on the market. If you underprice it, it will get multiple offers to bring it up to where it should be priced. That's always been true, and it's true now. And now more advice for mindset. It's a great time to buy or sell a home. This market is a great time to buy or sell a home because buyers, the cost of owning is low. Don't look at purchase price, look at cost of owning. Cost of owning has to do with the interest rate that you pay. And if you wait, you pay a higher interest rate, a higher monthly payment, a mortgage, the purchase price, you're never going to pay off the mortgage necessarily. In most cases, it's payment. So the cost of owning is low. And for sellers, the profit from selling is extraordinarily high. You're in control. So it's a great time to sell and it's a great time to buy. Got it, you guys? Okay. Now, hidden inventory. 18, maybe even 19 sources of hidden inventory. And you don't find anything that you want to go out and show them homes, but there's not even anything to show them. What do? Here we go. Hidden inventory. Source number 1, shop neighborhoods. And that is if there's nothing to show them. I was talking with Jeff Fishbein last week. He said, I've got some buyers and we're going to drive around and show them neighborhoods. There's no homes to see, so we're going to get them to pick and choose, narrow down what neighborhood they're interested in. Number 2, community staff. While you're showing neighborhoods or when you're out there on your own, talk to the community staff, visit the clubhouse. When you're showing neighborhoods, show them the clubhouse. But talk to the community staff, the golf pros, the association employees, and say, hey, I've got a buyer who's looking in this neighborhood to sell. Give them your business card and say, if you hear of anybody that's thinking about selling, be sure and let me know. Community staff can be a great source of community gossip. And so talk to community staff. Number 3, ask agents with recent sales. That's as easy as you do a search of the neighborhood that your client's interested in, see who's sold in there recently, and ask them if they have anything coming up. No, they may not. In fact, they're not allowed. Of course, a lot of agents don't understand those rules, but they're not supposed to tell you about specific listing until they put it in the MLS. But ask them if they have something coming up, and they can let you know in general if they do. Give them the specifics of what your buyer's looking for, and ask to be the first when it comes on the market. If nothing else, find out when they expect it to come on the market and be in touch with them, follow up. But ask local agents in the neighborhood where your buyers are looking. Number 4, homes in escrow. So you multiple offers and you miss out, or you find what your buyer's looking for is not on the market. You find what's in escrow and check and ask how that escrow is going. You can put a lot of pressure on a buyer when you say to a listing agent, hey, if that buyer delays, or if they ask for an extension of time, or they don't remove contingencies, we're here, we're ready to go. Check in again on day 10, day 17, and day 30, or day or two before each of those potential deadlines. Homes in escrow. A lot of escrows are falling out. So that's opportunity. Number 5, leases. Take a look at homes that leased almost a year ago. It might be that a 1-year lease is coming up. Check on those that have been leased for a while. Check on non-owner occupieds in a community your buyers are interested in. Maybe a buyer letter. Talk to the title rep, find out who the non-owner occupied properties are, and send a letter. In fact, you can even identify people with the same floor plan your buyer's looking for. Number 6, FSBOs. Go on Zillow and set yourself up to be notified every time a new for sale by owner comes on the market. And check this out. You see my red circle here? This is a FSBO that came up Wednesday, and a lot of them do this. Open house, and there's the dates, and there's the property owner's phone number. It's that easy. You just pick up the phone and call them, offer to be of assistance, ask if they're cooperating with buyers agents, but offer to be helpful in any way that you can. But let's look at this. Here's a come on by and see me personally while I'm trapped in my house and talk to me. So if you've ever wanted to have an opportunity to go by a gated community, talk to a seller face to face, there it is. The appointment's already been set for you for a FSBO, open house. In fact, some cases maybe offer to do the open house for them and offer to help market the open house. Use the listing for your own lead generation. Get their permission, of course. If they got crappy photos, bring in your photographer and show off what a great job you can do in presenting the FSBO. Whether they list with you or not, it's a lead generation bonanza. So for sale by owners, expired listings, especially, remember March through April last year? Take a look at not just expired, but canceled listings from March and April of 2020. Those are people who wanted to sell, who needed to sell, but they got shut down because of COVID. Check and see if they ever went back on the market. But anytime you've got a buyer, enter their criteria into MLS and don't choose actives, choose expired and canceled listings, and plot them on a map, and you'll see the neighborhoods that match what they're looking for, and you'll see some potential listings. A buyer letter. I just posted in Workplace this week a buyer letter that's written specifically with the psychology of a seller. And you'll notice that it's short, it's brief, it's not too many words. It starts out with, I recently sold a home in your neighborhood. And that's because people choose, 60% of people will choose an agent who sold in their neighborhood. So it starts out with that line. The other thing is people will trust an agent who's sold in their neighborhood because they figure other people did to use a pretty safe bet to use the same agent. I'm writing to you to ask if you had any thoughts of selling your home. Not if you want to sell, but thoughts of selling. And I added either now or in the future. So again, they're not cutting you off because they're not interested in doing anything right now, but thinking about it in the future. Another psychology, my clients choose me to represent them because of my in-depth knowledge of the area. So again, you're not bragging, but you're slipping in some information that affects their perspective of you. Many sellers like you, again, there's a psychology behind every line here about the possibility of a private sale to avoid the chaos and concerns of that kind of sale that I can go over with you. So you're giving them reasons to chat and talk. Next line, it's important to me that you know all your options. So you're taking their side in a fiduciary way. I may have a buyer for your home or I may not. So again, you're just demonstrating your honesty. Let's chat. You can text or call me. So you're not looking for an appointment or a listing appointment. It's just to chat, non-threatening. And then again, a PS, because the most read line in a letter is the first line and the PS. And the PS should be a value proposition and call to action. So now there are ways to make the sale of your home contingent on finding a replacement home you really want. I can advise you on that when we talk. So you're offering value. Click the head. So you're offering value, and it's a very low bar call to action. We can talk, we can chat, and it's value to the seller, because the reason sellers aren't selling right now is because they don't know how to sell contingent. So you're offering that. So there's a lot packed into that letter, but in a simplified way, and that's available on Workplace. You should mail those around any listing you've sold over the last year, or even if you represent a buyer in that neighborhood over the last year. And then you follow it up with a chat and hopefully a chance to come by and look at the house and see if it might work for any of your buyers, even if you don't have an active buyer right now. So that letter is effective. Let me go back. One more thing about this buyer letter. We're giving you 10 of the most likely people to sell around your listing. So we've been doing that for several months. And I think you should mail this letter to those 10. But this letter has about a 1 to 2% conversion rate, just like any other direct mail piece. This one, quite a bit more effective. You put it in an envelope and you put a real stamp on it. But you need to mail to 100 to 200 potential sellers in a neighborhood. And if you'll do that, you'll get probably 2 responses, predictably, significant and consistently. Good responses from sellers. So still one of the best prospecting tools in real estate. And you say, well, sellers don't believe that everybody, they hear that all the time. Well, if they're thinking about selling, they can't resist this letter, even if they're skeptical about it. But you don't want to be as the agent who says they have buyers and then they don't. And in the letter, you're saying, I may or may not, but I'm looking to know what's happening in the neighborhood. Okay. Next, turn one listing into 3. I just talked with Cher Rush. Cher didn't just turn one listing into 3. She turned one listing into 4. In fact, one of those she double-ended. So that's 5 transactions from one listing. And that's in this market. What she did is she used Listing Concierge so that it on all of these listings, she's hitting that neighborhood over and over. It doesn't just show the just listed postcard. It shows all the marketing that you do. And that's significant, but it's also combined with lots of other things. She lives in the neighborhood and she walks her dog Muffin every day and talks and chats with people. You know, those of you who have been in real estate for a while, it's not as simple as just firing out a postcard, but it's everything else that you do and chatting and meeting people. Her most recent listing was somebody that she talked to a year ago. She has this habit in her neighborhood. She walks Muffin, she talks to people, and gives them her business card. And this was somebody who she gave her business card to a year ago. So it's a combination of lots of things. Plus, she's been in the business for 30 years. So she's got a lot of experience on what to say and how to say it. The other thing with Cher is, let's just say, in her 70s. She's not that generation that's all tech savvy and all of that. Cher holds her own definitely with what she needs to do with technology, but because of listing concierge, it's all done for her. So, everybody can succeed in this market. Great job, Cher. Really, really happy for you. And she'll keep it going until she takes over that farm. Number 10, exclusive look. Exclusive look, you used to be able to just kind of mention upcoming listings in an office meeting or around the office chatting with agents. Now with exclusive look, with Coldwell Banker, we have 3,000 agents throughout upcoming listings in exclusive look. It goes out to all of those agents. And in a lot of cases, those are agents who have clients that have properties to sell in our market area. So it's good to keep you in front of them. It's also, they may have buyers for your listing, but also in exclusive look, you can post buyer needs. And so you can post in there a description of your buyer, what they're looking for, and those specifics. And all of a sudden, you've got 3,000 agents helping you find hidden inventory. So be sure and take advantage of workplace, exclusive look. Number 11, workplace. Here's one Kathy Smith just posted this week. It's a buyer need for in Cathedral City. Coming soon listing. So you have the advantage of the teamwork of all three of our offices in the desert. You can post coming soon listings, but also buyer needs as well. And we can all go to work at finding properties for those buyers. Here's number 12. Now this one, this is an actual post. I've tried to get you guys to do this and haven't seen you doing it, but it's so incredibly effective. This agent got 3 seller responses from one post, and that is to post your buyer needs in social media. Not on your business page. Nobody sees anything posted on a business page anymore unless it's you spend money. In your social personal profile, $500,000 cash buyer looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home in Indio and La Quinta. And so one of his friends says, what about a 4-bed, 3-bath, no pool, asking for a friend? And the response is, tell your friend I can make that work. Top dollar. Ask her if I can stop by today and take a look. You go further down, there were 3 more sellers who said, I would consider selling. And the agent actually responded and set an appointment right there in the chat under that post. So this is powerful. Not only will, in social media, people not only respond for themselves, but they respond for friends. So if you say, if you know, or if someone you know might be thinking about selling, here's what I'm, or not if they're thinking about selling, is I have a cash buyer that's looking. Let me know if you or someone you know might have a home like this. You'll get all kinds of responses. That is if you've been working your personal profile. If you're wasting time on your business page, maybe not. But if you're working your personal profile, friending people, connecting with people, you'll get some great responses. Number 13. I'm really getting into some gold here as we move on. Some really, really golden stuff. Social ad engine, you can place ads for Real Vitalize. In other words, it's a program that they can fix up their home and not have to pay up front and get more for their home. Those ads are already created for you. And those are not just, the old ads were find out how much your home is worth. Well, everybody knows how much their home is worth now, or they think they do. Now it's getting the home ready to sell. That's what people look for advice about when they're thinking about selling. And that's when you want to be in the conversation with them. Social ad engine is automated. It's easy. All the tough stuff that I used to have to figure out and try to do at 2 o'clock in the morning, now it's done for you. Number 14, overpriced listings. So if you're working with a buyer, look for properties. The next one's directly related, and that is high days on the market listings. So you just search for properties that have been on the market for a while. You know, they're eventually going to do a price reduction, and then they'll get multiple offers and it's gone. Catch them before they do the price reduction and give them a price give them a price reduction. So if you got a buyer that wants to come in low, that wants to make low ball offers, great. Look for the properties that nobody wants or look for the properties that are overpriced. Days on the market is an indication that it's overpriced. There will be no bidding war. You won't be up against multiple offers. It's a property that's either overpriced or nobody wants. And if you're a creative agent, you can take a look at a property and say, move this wall, move that wall, and look at what you've got. Number 16, new construction. Make sure you show your buyers new construction, even if they don't want to see it. It's part of getting to know the inventory. Is the new construction is the baseline, and then you look at everything else. Get them signed in so you don't have to worry about once they strike out a few times, they wander around on a weekend and stop in on a whim and you've lost a buyer. Number 17, past clients and sphere of influence. Here's the phone call. You call a past client or sphere of influence and say, hey, mom, this is a business call. You got a minute? Hey, I've got a buyer that's looking to buy this, that, or the other, and we're not finding anything, and I'm just really working hard for them. Hey, would you do me a favor? If you hear of anybody that might be thinking about selling, let me know. Thanks, mom. Bye. You know, this is a business call. Make it short. I'm impressed that you're working so hard for your buyers. Next, Cold Realty Resource. Cold Realty Resource allows you to find mobile numbers and emails in any neighborhood. So you've got a buyer looking at a neighborhood, use Cold Realty Resource, plug in an address, and do the circle around that address and get the mobile numbers and the emails. You can call around. You can send out a group email to those the emails that come up for that neighborhood. And again, is you or anybody you hear of, let me know. And then number 19, this is the hottest one, guys. Neighbors only sneak peek open houses. If you've got a listing coming up, or if you know an agent that has a listing coming up, or if you find a FSBO, a neighbors only sneak peek open house, put it in media and with social, set up the date for the open house, and then schedule appointments on 15-minute intervals. Neighbors always want to see the new listing in the neighborhood. And whatever neighbors are thinking about selling will always come through and pretend that they're buyers, but the neighbors will always come through. That's a great source of listings. So the sneak peek open house, and here's how you do it. Insta showing, this picture on the right, this is what your open houses right now should look like. They should, and if you're not getting this kind of response for your open houses right now, you're doing it wrong. So Insta showing with the pre-marketing, all of that, Insta showing, this is the landing page for your listing. People choose the date, you set the date and the time slots that are available. People schedule, they get an email confirming their date and time. You get an email confirming their date and time. And then you get to show them through the house one party at a time. Just couldn't be any better. Somebody was asking me, when will open houses go back to normal? And I said, pray that they never do. This is absolutely better than just 20 people come by at 3 o'clock. It's safer, it is more effective, and it creates demand, and definitely an opportunity for agents. So there I have it, guys. Those are the, I've lost my, here I am. I'm back. So those are 19, Jill, different ways to find hidden inventory. So you guys, before I hand over to Jill, and she's going to talk about what they do to help you target farm around a listing, I want you to, two things to take action today, because that's kind of overwhelming what I just shared with you, but two things I'd like you to do. One, is choose one of those things that you're going to do to look for inventory for your buyers. The other is, for some of you overachievers, create a checklist of when you have a buyer. Of those 18, create yourself a checklist of the things that you're going to do to look for inventory. Don't go on MLS. Grab your checklist and find a listing. Do a single property show and get both sides. So that's what I have for you today. I'm finding hidden inventory. So you may want to find Listing Concierge does a lot of it for you, but I would really encourage you to add to Listing Concierge some additional marketing around your listings, and ask Jill to come tell you a little bit more about that.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Jill